is a true honor to talk to one of India's most respected teachers, Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar. He's a humanitarian, spiritual leader, and an ambassador of peace and human values. His mission and work has spread around the world, and he's an internationally known spiritual teacher whose art of living, programs, and humanitarian efforts have affected millions of lives. I would like truly to thank you for making some time for me.
It's my pleasure.
And let me ask you, what exactly do you mean by art of living? And what are the secrets of mastering this art?
You know, art of living is appreciating life, making life a celebration. You know, we have many gadgets for us to feel comfortable physically, but we forget that our spirit also needs some comfort. Our consciousness needs some food. Art of living brings that balance between, you know, the material and spiritual life, emotional and intellectual life, and being personal and social life.
I would like to talk for more simple and rather practical things, such as food, breathing, meditation. Can they play an essential and decisive role in living?
Absolutely.
And how do they contribute to the human being?
You see, food is an important source of energy, and right amount of food and right type of food makes a big impact on our energy level, right? You eat too much food, you feel so tired, and you don't eat at all, then you won't be able to work. So balanced food and balanced activity combined with food is very essential. Similarly, if you are overthinking and you are going to exhaust your mental energy, people, you know, very young age, they feel so depressed and they have no attention span. You are talking to somebody and they're not there. You know, most of the time this is what happens. That is lack of mental strength or mental energy. That need to be taken care of. Neither at home nor in school we learn how to manage our emotions, isn't it? If you are upset, for you to come back to normalcy, it takes maybe several days, several months maybe. All this can be attended through breathing exercise, meditation, yoga, where you become more aware, resilient and energetic.
And if we succeed to improve the person as a unit, that can be also contribute to the whole as part of the world.
Yes, because when our behavior becomes better, when our perception becomes better, our conflicts become less. We are able to communicate with people better. We have done this program everywhere in the world, where people who are in conflicting mindset, they do the exercises, they come together, and they sit, the dialogue starts to happen. So I feel in today's world where stress is so much, whether it is family life or social life, you need to take care of your emotional and mental status. And so we are working on that for last 43 years.
But do you believe that meditation and yoga have a real reason to exist today? Or is it simply just a passing lifestyle trend and it will pass away?
They are more relevant in today's time.
Why?
Because today people are much more busier than ancient days. Ancient days, farmers didn't have much to do because they would sow the seed and they are free till the crop comes up, and they are busy only when they have to harvest the crop. So they had a lot of free time. Today, people don't have free time. They are so in a rat racing society. So meditation gives so much of mental energy. It also makes one physically more fit. So there are more than 100 research done on the impact of meditation on both physical, mental and energetic level. That is where I see it's much more relevant. 40 seconds, every 40 seconds, one person is committing suicide on the planet. 1 in every 4 person is suffering from depression. And it doesn't help just, only taking tablets. And you cannot survive only on steroids. You need something more to bring the change in within yourself. That is where this is how have helped immensely.
Meditation and yoga also?
Yeah, of course. A little bit of yoga and meditation definitely helps people more than one way.
Mm-hmm. I'm aware, Gurudev, that you have a special program for prisoners with great results.
Correct.
Where exactly is it focusing, and why is it so effective?
See, every human being has a goodness in them. Even prisoners, those people who have been condemned as bad people, inside them there is a victim crying for help. Every culprit has a victim crying for help inside them. So they need healing. So meditation, breathing brings the healing inside them. So their whole outlook towards life changes. And that's how we have today more than 900,000 people around the world in the prisons have been benefited.
With good results?
Very good result. Not just good, very, very good result.
So that means that if one has a failure in life, it has a second and a third chance.
Absolutely.
Through your path.
Absolutely. Go within. See, no child has come into this planet as a bad kid, right? Have you seen any bad children?
No.
No. Every child has been good. So due to circumstances, environment, some bad things happening to them, they have become bad. Their actions are bad, but they can always be transformed.
Mm-hmm. You are considered as the modern Gandhi. You are against all forms of violence and have taken part in many peace negotiations through the face of the planet. Could the wars today be stopped?
War, I say, is worst act of reason. So, but if people come together, start dialogue, I feel dialogue is the only way out from the war.
Yes, but how could the warring parties come to sit on a table and have a dialogue or negotiations?
You need people who can make bridges. And bridges are those who have their hands on both sides, right? Mm-hmm. Both sides of the divide. So we need more sane, wise, and intelligent people who see the problem from both sides and come together and bring people together and build trust. In all conflicts and wars, first trust is broken, and then communication also broken. So someone who can re-establish both trust and communication can, bring peace.
It's all about leadership at the end of the day.
I would say, yeah, you can call it leadership also, or friendship, I would say.
Or we want the leaders to follow the path of the art of living.
The path of art of living is that of compassion, seeing life from a broader perspective for the betterment of the whole planet. Not just me, myself, but from me to we. Mm-hmm. We the people of God, we the planet. If that broad mindset is the goal of art of living.
Yes, but on the other hand, in the world full of tension, with 2 ongoing wars and the nuclear threat as close as ever, I wonder if the message you send is out of touch with reality, allow me to say.
I feel this is the solution, but we need to get people see from this angle. Yeah, you know, in any conflict there are many vested interests. There are people who promote wars. Vested interests are there. We have to go beyond that, and people are tired of, you know, these conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that. You know, we saw that in Colombia, where 52-year-old war came to an end. We saw in India a 500-year-old conflict which people thought will go for another 500 years. It came to an end. People never even expected that it can all finish so fast. So, a sincere effort being made to bring parties together will definitely help.
But do you think that something went wrong and we humans ended up like this?
Obviously, it shows where we can improve.
Mm-hmm. How could hatred, anger, and pride be combated? And how effective are you?
Creating sense of belongingness. More sense of belongingness. That will counter this hatred.
Do you believe that these programs of art of living
I don't need to believe.
Established in the education and having kids becoming grown-ups with a certain different way of thinking?
Yes, we are doing this. In schools all over the world, we are introducing these programs for people to become better human, more loving, more kind, more compassionate human beings. We are regularly on job. We have thousands of volunteers around the world who are tirelessly,
in more than 180 countries.
80 countries, mm-hmm. Yeah. We have done in Syria also. We have brought the women to sit together, and they have had tremendous benefit after the program.
Mm-hmm. So allow me a more personal question. As you know, I'm a Cypriot, and I'm sure that you know that Cyprus is under Turkish occupation since 1974. So it's more than 50 years now that the situation is like this. Do you have any suggestion on how to find a solution to a problem that remains unsolved for half a decade?
I think people from both sides should sit together, dialogue. Dialogue, I think, is the only way forward. Where otherwise, more destruction, more tension, that will only take a toll on the health of the people. Yeah.
Dialogue, even if you feel that you're the victim.
Of course, victims should, if you talk to both sides will feel they are victims. But you need to come together and not get into this, go in to see how we can resolve it. Come with solutions from both sides and sit with the solutions. See, those days are over where the colonial mindset was there. India was also under a colonial regime for a long time. South America was under colonial. But people are getting more awake. They want more freedom. They want more, sense, no fanaticism. So that type of thing is happening fast, I would say. Because young people these days, they are much more knowledgeable than the previous generation. Mm-hmm. And they want more peace and more, their rights to be protected.
So are you willing to maybe participate in an effort to have everyone on the same table in order to find a solution?
Yeah, sure. I'm always ready for any such dialogue.
Mm-hmm. So going back to the discussion we had, how painful or difficult is to meet and connect with our inner selves?
Our inner self?
Yeah.
It's not painful. In connecting the inner self, you need to know the techniques, you need to know how you have to get there, Once you get there, that resolves the pain and sufferings.
And how do you recognize that you succeeded the harmony of body, mind, and soul?
It's so obvious. It's like, how do you know when you have a pain in your leg? You can feel it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is it a temporary mind state of mind, or more permanent condition of being?
I want to ask you, is your hunger temporary state or a permanent state? You know, when you feel hungry, you eat food, then again you will feel hungry. Like that mind also, it needs time and again some wisdom, some food for it. You know, that is necessary.
Mm-hmm. Artificial intelligence is here to help humanity or to create more troubles?
Humanity should, if they're wise, they should use it the way they want it to use. You know,
is it a blessing or a curse?
By technology itself is not a curse, no blessing. It's up to us, up to human beings who either make it a curse or make it a blessing. If you use it judiciously, it will be a blessing. But if you are addicted to it, it's a curse for you.
So, do you welcome the technology and the facilities
I welcome the technology.
that is given from it?
Yes, I welcome the technology, and I urge people to use it judiciously. You know, you have cell phone, but if you're addicted to cell phone day and night, it's going to, impact your brain and your nervous system very badly. Mm-hmm. So, but if you are using it sparely whenever it is necessary, it's a blessing for you, right? Okay.
And
two last questions.
Yes, let me ask about the silence and how important it is to be.
Silence is the mother of all inventions. Suppose you are asked to write a great article, or make a piece of art, or write a poem. Can you do it in a crowded, busy restaurant, or in a marketplace, or when people are all talking and yelling around you? No. You would say, no, give me some time. Whether it is scientific discovery, literary creativity, or music or dance, what do you need? You need a quiet place, right? To come up with something wonderful. So silence is the mother of creativity. And going into deep silence itself is an art which can enhance your energy, your happiness, and your productivity and creativity. So this one need to learn. And we do conduct silence retreats many times all over the world, and people thoroughly enjoy that. Yeah.
And finally, from all your messages, from all your important messages, which one is the greatest, you think?
It depends on the people who take it. Someone finds compassion more great, someone else finds service, someone else finds self-realization more important. I leave it to them.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. So I have the honor and the pleasure to have beside me the man who knows all the secrets about blue zones. Actually, he's the founder himself here. Thank you very much, B.
My honor.
I mean, you're like a dream come true to me.
You dream modestly.
So let me start with this. Today, after several years that you start your efforts, do you still believe that blue zones exist? And I mean, all the sets of values and principles are there?
Well, the blue zones I originally identified with the team, they're still there. And by the way, we meticulously checked birth records and death records and did the math with trained university demographers. I have to say that more and more because I have people who are spreading falsehoods. But the other side of that coin is that all the original blue zones are disappearing, largely because of the diseases of progress. Mostly it's the standard American diet, the way we eat in America with processed food and junk food and too much meat, cheese, and eggs. And then the arrival of mechanized conveniences, namely the car. Mm-hmm. So they're all disappearing. But we caught populations that were living a long time, and we very carefully identified the characteristics that are producing these long-lived people.
Mm-hmm. And do you want to remind us the common values? I mean, there are 5, there are 6, there are 9.
Yeah, so for those people who've never heard of blue zones, there are 5 areas where people live statistically longest. The Sardinia, the highlands, only a certain area. Islands of Okinawa, Japan, Nosara in Costa Rica, the island of Icaria in Greece, and then among the Seventh-day Adventists. And these people are living up to, they have 10 more years of life expectancy at middle age, which is really a huge value proposition. They live a long time because they're avoiding chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, certain cancers, and dementia. They don't have special bodies. Their bodies don't age slower than the rest of us. They don't have better genes. Only 20% of how long we live is their genes. So why are they living a long time? Well, you can see common denominators. You can see common characteristics in all blue zones. Mostly they're eating a whole food, plant-based diet. So not the chips and the sodas and the hamburgers and the pizzas. They're eating peasant food, beans and grains and garden vegetables and greens off the side of the road, nuts, tubers like sweet potatoes. So that's number 1. Number 2, they don't exercise in the way we think of exercise, but they're moving 10, 12,000 steps a day because every time they go to work, friend's house, or out to eat, they're walking. They live in walkable communities. They have gardens. They don't have machines to do all of their day-to-day work. Number 3, the option to be lonely doesn't exist. They live in places where every time they walk out their door, they're bumping into their friends, their neighbors. It's a sort of spontaneous social combustion. Mm-hmm. Perhaps more importantly, the tradition of extended families, where I know a lot of people in Cyprus who recognize this idea, where you actually keep your aging parent nearby, part of the family. Grandma lives at home or lives nearby, and she's watching kids and helping cook and helping run the garden. That's a very clear blue zone component. And then 4th, I would say they know their sense of purpose. It could be a religion sometimes. It could be ikigai like they have in Okinawa, plan de vida in Costa Rica. But they're very clear why they wake up in the morning, what their responsibility is. And there's an outlet for it. So it's not just, they love to travel or, I love video games. They're doing something that speaks to their heart and values for the community. And this is way more powerful than we think. So those are the 4 pillars. But the overarching thing, and this is really important, the main characteristic is they live in places where the healthy choice is unconscious. Mm. Those 4 things I just mentioned, they're not mustering discipline. Some marketers not selling them, some program. They're just living their lives. And the big lesson for all of us is we have to stop thinking that we're going to get people to change their behavior for long enough to not develop a chronic disease. We have to shape our environment so that the healthy choice is the easy choice.
For those elements, have the same importance, or some of them have priority to the others?
I don't like speaking in individual components, just like nutrients. People are obsessed with vitamin C and omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin B12. It's all bullshit because you can know the right things to do, but if you don't have a mechanism to do it for long enough, it doesn't matter. So, I mentioned moving naturally, and I mentioned eating whole food, plant-based diet. Well, if you eat a perfect diet and you never get any exercise, you're going to die younger. by the same token, if you're socially connected, but you eat junk food all the time, you're going to die young. So it's important for people to think of this cluster. Whole food, plant-based, move naturally, socialize, have your sense of purpose, and live in an environment where it's easy to do those things unconsciously.
In your documentary, you went and you established those elements in an area in the United States.
Yes.
So today, how is this area?
Albert Lea, Minnesota, in 2009, we manufactured a blue zone by helping their city council choose policies that favored healthy food over junk food, to favor the pedestrian over the motorist, and favor the non-smoker over the smoker.
And your results were out of this world back then. But today?
They're still there. There's still news people doing reports because everything we did was permanent. We permanently put more sidewalks in. We permanently put community gardens in. We permanently put a trail around a recreational lake right downtown. We permanently changed the policies in the city to limit junk food marketing. So when we could go home and our interventions can continue to do good. And sure enough, the best example of that is actually the beach cities in Los Angeles. We started there in 2010, and 12 years later, the obesity rate continues to drop. The smoking rate continues to drop. People continue to report more physical activity. Because we went there and we tried to convince 150,000 people to change their behavior? No, it's because we changed the environment. We made it easier for people to move.
So if you have these results done, a lot of leaders should come to you and ask for your help. Is the rest of the world acknowledging those elements and those principles?
We've had over 600.
Or they're afraid of the marketing of the other side?
Well, we have had 600 American cities come to us, and we've had cities come to especially Australia and Belgium, but they don't realize it's harder. We have no problem spending trillions of dollars to try to address diabetes and cardiovascular disease after it happened, but there's no really collective will to keep it from happening in the first place. First of all, we get sick very slowly. We don't even see it. This 30-year-old who's eating hamburgers and pizzas and drinking Coke and sitting on the TV, he can do that for 10 years, and he's not going to know. But all of a sudden at 40, type 2 diabetes shows up. The other problem is this is hard work. You have to, first of all, get politicians who are willing to invest their political equity. They have to say health is a priority and we're going to invest in keeping people healthy. And secondly, and this is the hard part, it takes 4 or 5 years. I need a team of trained people in a city following a strict program focused on improving the environment with a national team that's training them and managing them. And it's not the way people think of health. People want a pill. They want a supplement. They want stem cells. They want the magical diet, and that's a very good business plan. You can make billions of dollars on that business plan, but there is no documented example of how any of those things have worked for a significant amount of people in the long run.
We have the artificial intelligence. This is the era we live. This goes against the values and the principles and the elements of the blue zones.
I don't know yet. I think it's a parallel pursuit. But I do know...
Because if we have more machines, that it means that we will do less things.
That's probably true, yeah. But maybe artificial intelligence makes us more intelligent. And part of that intelligence helps us understand that we evolved in a certain environment, eating a certain type of food with stressors. Exposure to cold, exposure to heat, exposure to physical activity. And maybe artificial intelligence will help us to realize that what we really want is to live like our ancestors did, socially connected, close to the earth, in a clean environment, but maybe without infectious disease, which is the problem, for most of human existence.
One last question, personal one. I come from Cyprus. So have you ever visited Cyprus, and are you willing to give your secrets to my country, I can think many villages, many cities that can find real knowledge in your blue zones.
First of all, yes, I've been to Cyprus. I spent a wonderful week there and love the beaches, and I love the little villages in the mountains. And yes, they can have my secrets, but I've written 5 Blue Zones books, and all my secrets are there for the public. The execution, however, is a little bit more difficult, but it's available for any government who wants to focus on the right things and invest a few years of work to set people up for success. People in Cyprus are set up for failure right now. More and more cars are coming to the island. More and more junk food is pushing out, which was a phenomenal diet. The traditional Cypriot diet is phenomenal, version of the Mediterranean diet. But now we got these fast food restaurants and chips and Coca-Cola and pizza places, all this junky food. And unfortunately, the influence of my country is spoiling what was, perhaps a perfect way of living. I'm sorry for that.
Thank you very much for a very interesting conversation. Thank you.
Thank you
very much. It's an honor. Thank you.